Today's video is going to be about what is the best technique to have an out-of-body experience for you. This is perfect for anybody who is feeling stuck in the process. Now, my entire channel is about lucid dreaming, out-of-body experiences, astral projection. If you're interested in those topics, go ahead and subscribe. You'll get more information that way. Now, when I say what's the best technique for you, that's going to look different for everybody because we all learn so differently. Now, what works for you might not work for somebody else, and the way you find that out by now you've probably read loads of books, you've had podcasts tell you all these different techniques, and you're kind of overwhelmed at this point. What you need to do is realize that you need to commit to one technique every day for 30 days. Now, we're going to use the target technique for an example here. I'm going to make a video solely on these techniques, but right now we're just using this as an example so where you can understand how to choose your own technique. So you choose a target, you choose the target technique. You're going to then practice. That comes in 2 steps here. So you practice for about 15 minutes to 30 minutes once or twice a day. So you want to do a 15 to 30 minute meditation once or twice a day with whatever technique you chose. And right now we've chosen the target technique. So you are not trying to do anything hardcore when you're doing this 15-minute meditation. You're just doing a practice run. You're not trying to do mind awake, body asleep, and then do these techniques. You're just sitting there meditating, and you're just doing a baby practice run for the full event tonight. Now, when you go to bed, that is when you switch from practice to a full-blown attempt. Now, when you're laying in bed, that's when you're going to do the technique the entire time as your last conscious thought as you're going to bed. Now, some people, including myself, I like to capitalize on these sleep states in the middle of the night. I find it far more effective and easier. So you'll set your alarm for about 4 in the morning, and then you're going to do that same technique. So you could do the target technique the entire time as you're going to bed. And then if you set your alarm in the middle of the night as well, continue it after you get up from the alarm. So you're going to do the entire target technique as well. And you do that for 30 days every single day. And by then, you should absolutely know if this technique is working at all for you. Now, if you're not getting anywhere with this technique, you're going to want to choose a different version. Now, target technique can come from this to then an affirmation technique for 30 days, right? There are so many different techniques to choose from, and it does feel overwhelming. And so you just want to make sure that you've committed a month to one technique and to not give up. Now, I'm going to link a video above about a lucid dreaming challenge that I did because I always do these little challenges. And it took me one time about 27 days or so to have a full-blown lucid dream. And I tried every single day, every single night to have one. I could not have one. I was frustrated because sometimes it takes me really quickly. Sometimes I can do it just that night if I have the intention to. And sometimes it does take me longer. So you do not want to give up with doing these techniques. You want to fully commit to a month for every technique and just move down the list until you find one that resonates with you. For an example, for me personally, what I've actually been doing and how I found out what one worked best for me is I've tried the rope technique and I was getting absolutely nowhere with that. I then tried a floating technique, tried a target technique, tried the motion technique, and I was able then to decipher which of those I should focus on a lot more than the others. Now, that's actually why I'm also doing the the 90-day Astral Projection Challenge. If you haven't seen those videos, I have about 13 of them up now, and I'm going to be making quite a lot more because I'm still trying to find other techniques that I might not know about that are even better than the ones I do know about. So I've already been successful with some of these techniques, and some of them I haven't been successful in. But using energy work is one of the last ones that I've had to explore. And so that 90-day challenge is also for me to explore a different avenue of an out-of-body experience technique. You just have to commit yourself to a month every single day. Now, if you've already done that and you're kind of wondering which one is best for you, maybe you've had some motion technique, maybe you've had a target technique work for you, but you got to decide which one do I want to go for. And this is not a trick for it, but this is a way that you can kind of see which one you can choose to focus on. So once you get into the mind awake, body asleep state, you then can cycle through some of your top favorite techniques, and you will be able to see within about 10 to 30 seconds if you're seeing any movement, any sensation whatsoever. So what that looks like is, say you set your alarm for 4 in the morning. You're trying to do a target technique. it's not working at all for you. At this point, your body is already asleep, your mind awake, right? You've already passed that whole beginner process here. This is just for if you're basically right at the edge, you're kind of stuck, you're wondering, how can I get out finally? You're going to cycle through your top favorite technique. So preemptively, you're going to choose, okay, I want an affirmation technique, a motion technique, the target technique, right? I know I threw a lot out there, but by now you should already know a few of these techniques from either books or, your personal research. You're going to cycle through those when you're already in that mind awake, body asleep state, and you will very quickly realize which one works best for you. Again, that is how I kind of narrowed down that rope, because I was like, this is not working at all. Okay, the motion works for me. The target technique is great. The affirmations seem to be working. I was able to cancel out ever really trying to do that rope technique again. Now, that doesn't mean that at some point in the future that might not work for me, but just for that moment, I was able to basically tell myself I had no movement, nothing visually came when I was trying to do that rope. But what I did feel was huge movement when I started to do a target technique. I did feel a huge shift in my awareness when that was going on. So I figured that's the technique I should stick with for a month. Again, those are both ways that you're going to be able to decide what is the best technique for you. And as always, remember, this shit is so easy, you can do it in your sleep.